Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I am very glad that you are here with me for this reading as we look into the cards for work, job, or career. Please know that whenever you have clicked on this video to watch or listen, it is timeless as time itself is fluid. So it is meant for you at that point in your journey. If there's any information in the reading that you do not connect with or does not connect with your current situation, please feel free to release that information. If there's messages or information that does resonate with you, I would encourage to keep your mind and heart open to that and willing to continue to process that information after the video has been completed. Before we get started, let's focus on our breathing. And as you inhale and exhale, let go of any heaviness that's on your heart, busyness that may be in your mind, on your mind at this time, so that you can focus on the information in the reading. As you inhale and exhale, release any tension or tightness that is throughout your body. And as you are breathing, you can ask Source, Higher Power, Universe, if there are any signs or symbols for you to see. And if you have presented a question before clicking on the video, you can ask that your mind be open to receiving that information as well. And let's get started. So I rolled a dice to kind of get a feel for the overall reading, and it was a number 1. And when we think of the number 1, it is one of opportunity, one of beginnings, new beginnings in particular, as well as potential, something coming, something on its way. So if you are manifesting something, the 1 can indicate that that is on the horizon. So let's look into our tarot. If you are interested in any of the cards that I use, that information is in the description box below. Our first one is 8 of Wands. Next is 9 of Pentacles. King of Wands. The Emperor. Six of Wands. Wow, we have a lot of wands already in the reading. Be interesting to see if there's any more. The Alchemist or the Magician. So we have 2 major arcanas already close to each other in the reading, so it'll be interesting to see the information for those as well. And then we have Princess of Swords. So with the wands, definitely represent passion, action, a call to action, continuing action, focus, energy, making sure our energy is geared in the right direction, meaning what is for our higher good and for those around us, and also can represent creativity. So when we look at the 8 of Wands, you can see already in the card that they are in motion. They are in action. So when we look at it in regards to work or career, if you are in a job that you are happy with at this time, definitely continue forward, continue on the path that you are journeying in your job at this point. I'm hearing don't waver. Make sure you continue to set goals. Those goals are achievable. They will benefit you as well as those around you. Definitely seeing those wands, just really swift movement. So maybe right now in your job, there's just a lot going on. Maybe there's a deadline. So this is card I'm sensing is really stay focused, stay on the path, and really look at that end goal. So that can help you continue to have that forward momentum that you may need. Also, what I'm sensing is opposite of that. If you're stuck, if you're feeling stuck in your job or career, this is definitely a card of action. It is a wand, which we said at the outset is one of action and energy and creativity. So if you are feeling stuck and you are wondering, maybe you presented the question, if it's time to seek a different job, maybe even a different career, right at the outset of this reading, this card here could be indicating that it is time to consider that. Next, we have the Nine of Pentacles. Beautiful card. There's hues of red and gold, yellow colors, which are our root chakra, our solar, as well as our solar plexus chakra is really that centering, that grounding, really going back to the beginning, finding our roots and foundation. So at this time in your job, it could be that you are unsettled. You kind of have maybe a lot going on your plate, a lot of demands, a lot of projects or events that are occurring and have a lot of deadlines. When I see this Nine of Pentacles and this individual that's portrayed in this deck, she's very confident. Her shoulders are back, her chin is up, her posture is very firm. I'll hold it back up for you as well. There's a hawk, which definitely for me is visionary, one that sees ahead when hunting, a provider. So it could be that you need to reground yourself, really look at why you are doing what you're doing, seeing if there's anything in those projects that you can pass off to someone who can now carry the torch or finish that project so that you can stand confident in your career, in your job, and not be so frazzled. Even if it's not shown on the outside, it could be on the inside. Definitely that hawk is jumping out, making sure your vision, your goals are aligned with your purpose and the purpose of your workplace as well. Also, what this card is representing too with her stature, this particular illustration for me really shows that you're coming to an end of maybe some of that busyness, or coming to an end of a phase in your career or a period of time in your career, and not necessarily ending it, but in this particular part of your job, your workplace, and now you can really just enjoy the fruits of your labors. There could be success. That Nine of Pentacles definitely represents success. Possibly you are self-employed. Maybe you are considering self-employment. The Nine of Pentacles can represent that as well. So this card definitely being right behind the Eight of Wands, which is action and energy, forward motion. The Nine of Pentacles paired with the Eight of Wands could be encouraging you to look into that as well. Next, we have the King of Wands. And with the King of Wands, when I look at it in regards to work or a job, definitely achievement. Again, having that self-confidence. The King of Wands in the tarot deck definitely represents that. Very insightful, using that wisdom and knowledge that you have. Really just an intense energy in a positive manner. The King of Wands also represents leadership. So in your job or career, maybe you are wondering if you need to take that next step. You need to pursue that next position, the next level up per se. This card here, again, behind the Eight of Wands, behind the Knight of Pentacles, definitely could be indicating that is in the layout of this reading, where it is time to go to the next person in line, whether it's a supervisor, a boss, a VP, so forth. You know what it is in your particular job. This card is encouraging you to consider that as well. That leadership role. You have skills, you have abilities, and maybe, you know, kind of going back to the Eight of Wands, you're wondering, are you using your skills to the best of their abilities at this time in the job that you have? And this card here, the King of Wands, is encouraging you to consider that next step. What is the next step in your job placement at this time? And definitely, again, that self-confidence, being confident, having that posture of your shoulders are back and your head is up. You move forward with purpose. You move forward with focus, not ego, but one of a humbleness to want to improve yourself in your work and help those around you as well. Next, we have the Emperor. And the Emperor, again, definitely in the tarot represents leadership. It represents that confidence, solving conflict, if there's any conflict, having self-control, even in our ambition, even in our desire to meet those higher level goals that maybe we've set for ourselves, really having responsibility. So what I'm sensing with the Emperor first is kind of going back to the Eight of Wands. Are you stagnant? Are you feeling stuck? Maybe it is time to go back and look at your goals. Go back and look at what are your dreams? What do you want out of life? And is your current career path helping you use those skills and abilities that you do have for the betterment of yourself, for your higher good, and for those around you, family, friends, community? If you practice faith in your church, your synagogue, your temple, are you using what you were given in your workplace? And if not, the Emperor definitely is calling you to consider if you are where you're meant to be job-wise at this time in your journey. Definitely going back to that leader, you know, you have the Emperor, which, you know, kind of surpasses a king, but they're both leadership positions. They're both a position where people look up to you. What I'm sensing is, if you are in a leadership role, are you leading by example? Are you leading with positivity? Are you leading where people want to come to you and talk with you? Are you leading in a manner that lifts others up, that brings them fulfillment in their job? Because your leadership kind of calls to them to be their better self, to give their gifts and use their gifts. If you aren't able, I'm sensing, to say yes in that manner, with that Emperor, with the King of Wands, there is consideration here to look at what you may need to change for that to occur in your job placement at this time. Next, we have the Six of Wands. And again, along those lines of achievement, coming back, it looks like, from possible conflict or war at that time. You can see, I don't know if you were able to see it, the individuals are humbling themselves in front of this person. So again, possibly a leader, a hero. And what I'm sensing coming behind that Emperor is, are you being the best that you can be, whether you are in a leadership role or not? Are you giving your best to your job? Are you taking, I'm sensing, shortcuts? Are you trying to get to the end but not going straight? You're diverting and trying to find shortcuts because you want it to be easier on you. And when we take that path, it is not for our higher good. It actually causes more shadows than it does light, and it actually pulls more energy out of us, because then we have to cover up and we have to make sure people don't know, and we have to say the same thing to everyone, and it actually draws more negative energy than it does positive. Also with the Six of Wands, I'm sensing again with the individuals that are somewhat kneeling or bowing in humbleness and respect. Are you leading by example? Are you leading by a positive and good and healthy example if you are in a position of supervisory, VP, CEO, etc., manager, etc.? Next, we have the Alchemist or the Magician. And there's an infinity symbol on here, swords. There's a representation of every suit in the tarot. So the swords, pentacles, cups, and wands. So really, when I think of an alchemist, they are mixing things. They are trying to find a balance or a solution. The magician, that little bit of mystery piece, but having an outcome with the infinity symbol as well, the beginning and end of cycles, the ebb and flow of life, just being willing to receive what comes our way and continuing to move forward. When I also think of this and I see the Magician behind the cards that we've already had, it really is, for me, I'm sensing that balance. You can see, I'll hold it up again, that the three suits and even the wand in his arm are floating. So is there balance in your career? Is there a balance? I'm sensing family and career, home and career, relationship and career, friendships and career. If not there, I'm sensing there is definitely a need to readjust that. And where is your energy being placed? With the Magician as well, there's initial plans. So I'm definitely, what's drawing my eye is with that Nine of Pentacles and the Magician, that self-employment, kind of going back to that. You may be in that initial stage of just researching it or looking into it. Is it possible, funding, building space, things like that. The Magician is here in the reading as one of the two major arcana to encourage you again, either to begin that if you presented that question or you've been wondering, and if you're in the beginning process, that initial step, there's confirmation here of that Nine of Pentacles as far as self-employment, that is something to consider at this point in your career. Also, going back to the Magician piece, there's solutions, there's outcomes. So there may be, when you mix things together and you make a compound, there could be big changes coming your way as well. I'm sensing again that self-employment, and as well what's coming through this card is that balance. And if your career, your job isn't in balance with the other aspects of your life, if it's negatively impacting the relationships, your home environment, your own personal well-being, your mental or physical, emotional well-being, that's coming through very loud, that needs to be considered, that needs to be balanced for your good and for those as well in your life. Next, we have the Princess of Swords. And with the Princess of Swords, when we think of work, definitely creativity and inventing, coming up with a new idea, really analyzing, analyzing, really looking at the fine lines, really, maybe you are a number person, that's coming through as well. When I think of the princess, you know, I think of just that young excitement, that young energy of life, kind of that free thinker, really just wanting to come up with new ideas, fresh ideas. So it could be in your career, if you're being asked to do that, this coming right behind the Magician absolutely is a confirmation for that, being side by side in the reading, that it is time for you to step into that, to answer, you know, what I'm sensing is that call, that request. And on her sword, there is a butterfly. It's down at the base, and butterflies are that transformation, are that change, are that beauty, again, free, that free thinker, freedom to fly. So if you are being asked to join a team or teamwork, or come up with new ideas, or redo a budget, and maybe right now you're thinking, I can't, I don't know, it's fearful, or I'm exhausted when you're thinking of the budget, take a breath. And really all throughout the reading is that sense of energy and action and moving forward. You have it within you to keep moving forward. If you are fearful of that teamwork, of stepping up the next level, the princess is here with that butterfly, with just what the Princess of Swords themselves in tarot are, that action, are that balancing, are that participating, just that active movement as well. So this card here is encouraging you for that too. If you are analyzing, maybe there's a need to analyze in your job. If there's something that you question, I'm sensing look further. I'm hearing look further. Find truth. That sword there definitely is representing that. Find the truth that you need, and then move forward with that. And then I used an oracle deck, and 2 cards came out through the oracle deck. And the first one is soul assistance, soul guidance, unique perspective. Lots of symbolism on this card, so I'll hold it just a little bit longer so you can see it. So with this card, definitely looks to be someone who is a guide, a guardian angel. You can see she's holding the earth. The earth is at the bottom here, bottom half of the basket. She's holding it. The owls represent wisdom, seeking, truth, insight, intuition. Her dress is blue, which is our throat chakra. So maybe there's something in your career that you need to speak on. Maybe you are called to do some public speaking or a presentation, and that's really just not your forte. The blue chakra is represented here, and with that owl and moving forward and that freedom the wings provide, there is encouragement here that you can do that. You have the skills within you, so trust those skills. Seeing the words unique perspective, kind of being pulled back to this Princess of Swords. Is there something you need to find further information on? If something's not quite sitting well with you, is there a different perspective potentially that you need to consider? If there is conflict, if there is a stalemate, if there is someone on the team that maybe you are having difficulty receiving their ideas or information. This card here with the soul assistance, the soul guidance, if you practice faith, look to your higher power, look to your source. And then if not, the universe, what your guides, what is it that you may need to know and receive from them to help you move forward, to resolve that conflict or even just that soft difference, so that you can gain that unique perspective. Also, what is kind of coming out of this card is with the kittens, they're looking at the pendulum. She's holding it at eye level for them to see, a little bit slightly above their eye level, and they're just curious. So in your career, stay curious, stay wanting to know, stay connected. And if you are having difficulty, what I'm sensing again, kind of go back to that foundation. There's a lot of reds through this reading, which again is our root chakra, really grounding yourself. Why did you take this job? Why are you choosing this career path? What is it? What was that passion that got you started? Even if you're in a job right now that isn't what you want to do, but it's what you need to do, and there's plenty of times throughout our journey that may occur. So if that is your situation, this card definitely, I'm sensing, find something that allows you to connect with it even further. Helps you stay curious, helps you enjoy your daily, not routine's not the word, but schedule, your daily job responsibilities. Really see if you can connect with that. Also with this card, I'm sensing with those owls, again, if there's something that you need to understand and know further in your job to help you do it at the next level, to do it more efficiently, to be better at your job. Those owls definitely there to represent that. One of the owls is helping hold the earth, the basket of the earth. So if you need to have teamwork, if you need to talk to coworkers to figure out what that is, there's two owls on this card too to represent that. And our last card for the reading is, it says, the intimate dance of beliefs and emotions. There is strength in numbers. Beautiful card, friends. I'm going to hold it for a minute as well. Beautiful symbolism. The butterflies, the blue roses, the dresses on the individuals are all of the colors of the chakra. You can look at it as the rainbow. There's a light shooting through the center of that planet. It looks like Neptune, possibly, with the blues, the hues of blues. So what I'm sensing again is that balance. When we see all the colors represented for me in a oracle card, in a tarot card, definitely calls us to look inward, check and see what is out of balance within us. Is there shadow work that needs to be done? Is there something emotionally that we just have a strong reaction or connection or feeling to on the inside of our body? So this is here as well. Again, I'm sensing that work-home balance, work-relationship balance as well. Also, what I'm seeing on the cards are several different animals. There is a turtle, rabbit, dolphin, snake, frog, horse, and a hummingbird. Hopefully they're represented on each of the dresses. Hopefully, I'll hold it closer that you can see that if you are one who connects with spirit animals or animals in general. So again, there's that butterfly, that representation of change, of newness. Also with that butterfly, it starts as that caterpillar. It has to go into the chrysalis in order to have that freedom. So maybe right now in your job and career, you're just at a difficult spot, maybe a lot of stress, a lot of incoming input, information that you have to work through or decipher, and it's a lot. What I'm sensing is there is strength in numbers on this card. Don't be afraid. Don't feel like it changes or takes away from you if you need to rely on your coworkers, if you need to rely more of the team members on this project, because there is strength in numbers. We don't always have to be an island. We don't always have to be the only one who has a say or gets everything done. With those blue roses, definitely sensing, there's beauty, there's learning process, with all these circles as well represented on the card. We can learn from others when, like that rose, when we open up and we open our mind to hear. I'm sensing again, it came through strongly in another reading recently, that active listening. Active listening is when we join a conversation or enter into a conversation to just purely listen to the individual. Not listen to respond, not listen to give advice, not listen to question, but just to hear from that other person. Our eyes are focused on that individual. We are blocking out external noise. We're not allowing our mind to wander in 100 different directions. We are choosing to be present and listen. And it is, I'm sensing too, that intimate dance of beliefs and emotions. So when we active listen, we choose to put our own beliefs and biases aside so that we can hear from that individual. So in your job, maybe I'm sensing a boss, there's some conflict there, someone you don't respect, maybe they've made it hard to be respected. There is a call for you to either, with those chakras, disconnect a little bit, not from the job itself, but from that individual, to allow there to be more balance. With that piece of, the card is blue, if there is a boss, a supervisor, so forth and so on, that is causing difficulty, this card here with that balancing of the chakra, really sensing, consider speaking. Whether that's one-to-one, an email, phone call. I wouldn't recommend text, but I'm definitely sensing consider that. And here with the blue planet as well, with the Neptune. Also, when we look at that intimate dance of beliefs and emotions, what I'm sensing too is the balancing of our heart and our mind. So maybe you're in a situation in your career where it makes more sense for you to stay, but right now your heart wants to pull you away. And there is going to come a time where that can happen. But right now, kind of going back to this first oracle card, if it's a job that you need to make ends meet, to provide for yourself, if you have a family, a partner, this time right now might not be the time to move on. So allow there to be, as much as you can, a balance between the mind and the heart. I'm definitely sensing that as well. What's coming through this card is that teamwork piece. Again, definitely jumping out on that, receiving some insight from others, new ideas from others, going back to the first oracle card, that unique perspective, really just the dynamics of not being an island of one, the benefits of teamwork as well. When I look at the animals on the card, the rabbit is luck, the dolphin is that friendship piece, the horse is that freedom of movement, kind of going back to that Princess of Swords, that freedom thinker, that action, really just The inventor is definitely coming through as well. And you know, I see the dice here with that number 1. It is time for a new beginning, whatever that may look like in your job. You know, answering the call, going to your boss to see if there is movement for you to move up to the next level, taking action where you are, possibly staying where you need to for now, knowing in the future there's going to be a new beginning. And you'll know, you know, specifically the strong message that was coming through, you'll know when that time is right, because it will make sense for you if you have a family as well, if you have a partner, if you are your own individual right now. It'll make sense. It'll click financially. It'll make sense just overall at that time in your journey. I hope this information has helped. Again, if there's, excuse me, if there's any messages that came through that you do not connect with, please feel free to let that information go. As always, friends, love and light to you.